With over 1,800 items in the Bazaar of all varying sizes, rarities, and functions, there were over 9 quintillion unique combinations of builds to try and beat your opponents with for the coveted 10-win victory. But what if I told you that all you need is one? Today, I'm going to be taking you through my journey of beating the Bazaar with only one item. A journey that took over 28 hours of build testing, spanned 2 patches, but above all else, was fueled by hope. And it all started with a spear. Starting with a Lanxian gives you an item that does 50 damage over 10 seconds, giving you 50 more damage anytime you want to fight against a monster or a player. Even though we got a win on the first monster, a fight that could have been won with no items on the board, and a pretty good roll on skills giving me more damage and crit chance, the build wasn't even enough to get through even the early fights against players and was quickly scrapped. My biggest problem with the Lanxian was the time it took to cast, so I decided to give the rifle a try. With its base cast time of 2 seconds, even with a low base damage of 10, this was giving me the same amount of damage that the base silver Lanxian was giving me, with no enchantments or enhancements. And the first thing we encountered was weapon skills, bringing my damage to 16, and we were off already better than the Lanxian. With another upgrade to my medium weapon damage, bringing my rifle to 28 by the first fight, we still lost to a reloading grenade. The next day, we were able to buff the rifle damage to 34 with a sharpened blade off a monster encounter, increasing our weapon damage by 10 with our level up, and because of this, we were able to win the second fight. By the monster fight of day 3, we got a little more damage from a skill, and even though I thought we had the damage to beat the eccentric Etherite, holy cow, I have re-recorded that name like 5 times. Boy, was I wrong. That's okay though, the next day, some monster loot items got us a little more CDR, but even with the rifle casting every 1.6 seconds at this point, we lost our third fight. And those losses, sadly, didn't stop, bringing us to our last life. I chose to go with an enchantment and luckily got what I was hoping for, crit chance. At this point, our rifle had a 62% crit chance from some lucky gumball hits and the enchantment, and with a gold medium weapon buff skill and all the sharpening stones we got in 8 days, we went into what could be our last player fight, and we were just simply outclassed. I apparently was so annoyed in this recording that I rage quit the match without letting it resolve, which in hindsight, being only like 2 hours in, I did not know what this challenge had in store, but it had only been 2 hours, and we had only tried 2 of the items in the entire Bazaar. The challenge was just getting started. The main thing I learned from this round was how crucial skills were going to be to this build, and how important it was to get some form of scaling, which is kind of hard with only one item. But this brought me to trying out the Shark Claws. At Silver, they increase their damage by 6 every cast, that damage increasing from 10 to 20 for each tier, and the cast time was only 4 seconds. Not to mention it's an aquatic item, and there are a few skills in the Bazaar which specifically haste aquatic items. So I got a little crit chance off the first monster, a little CDR from a monster loot item, and a left eye skill, bringing me to 10 crit chance for the first fight, which honestly is a pretty solid start. We won our first fight, which was new to me, and even though my confidence was misguided in the monster fight, we got 10 damage from a level up just before our second fight. But we lost, and lost, and lost. We just really didn't get any more lucky hits on skills this run, even though we did get the diamond charge weapon skill. But with our base damage at only 58 at the start, it was over at our last leg. With all of this and our enchantment roll being a shield effect and not the crit or lifesteal we had hoped for to resurrect us, I knew this build and item were a bust. I can already hear you Vanessa fanboys now. What about the Cutlass? Did you try the Cutlass? It's so good, it has double crit damage and multicast. I did, in fact, try the Cutlass, so let me show you a quick summary of what a game with only Cutlass looks like.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
The Cutlass just really needs items, okay? At this point, we had spent a good 5 hours on Vanessa builds alone. You've just seen the highlights, and yes, these were the highlights. So I decided to give the Pig a try. Full disclosure, I had never played Pygmalion once up to this point. I know, I just made fun of Vanessa fanboys, but okay, I kind of like playing Vanessa. Hilariously though, my first game showed a lot of promise with a Beast of Burden at the start. This is an item that has a high 10-second cooldown, but makes up for it by Wait, what? Plus 20 anytime I buy an item? Sucks to suck. Who's Vanessa? I hardly know her. Okay, that sucked. Quick disclaimer. I can hear some of you hardcore Bazaar heads going, the new patch removed getting large items at the start. So this must have been on the old patch. And to them I say, shh, relax. I did say this video spanned 2 patches, didn't I? Hold out hope like I did, and I promise it'll be worth it. So of course I won my first game with 240 damage. The idiot thought the rifle was a good item. So stupid. To summarize day 2, we got some CDR junk items, and we got the augmented reality skill that increases our damage by 1 for every small item sold. So at the second fight, we increased our damage just a little to 409. Of course, this was enough to win the second fight. New territory. Day 3, we just got more items and a crit skill, which was wild to see immediately in action fighting the eccentric Etherite. I don't even know if I said it right that time, god dang it. Critting for 916 by day 3 is wild. And some more items by the end of the day gave us 584 damage, which made fight 3 easy peasy. But sorry to burst your bubble, this run did not end up getting us 10 wins. I did learn, though, that if any of the current available heroes in the Bazaar could win with one item, it was going to be Pygmalion. Let me explain. The pig has items exclusive to him that buff you when they aren't in play. Now, I can hear what you're saying. But doesn't it mean you aren't using one item? No, it's definitely still a one item build. You see, items like the globe, which gives 100 max health each day, or the cash register, which gives you 2 spare change each day, do absolutely nothing on your board. These items have no impact on the item on the board, so I don't think they take the challenge. Furthermore, items like piggles, which do have use in fights if they are on the board, like charging small items, could be used to grant us a piggle for each fight we win. So as long as they weren't on the board, I don't think it invalidates this run either. This is because it isn't impacting the item as the fight is ongoing. For instance, the gumball machine does provide some shield, but so long as it isn't on the board, I can still utilize the condition that allows you to spend 2 gold per day to get a random gumball. My thought process is if this stuff voids the challenge of winning with only one item, we would have to rule out any opportunity for loot items. We could never buy any item to scale any of the conditional scaling items like the Beast of Burden, or even just getting an item from a monster fight would void the run altogether. This would make winning with one item truly impossible, but not because of the item chosen, but because of the core game mechanics. Anyways, off my soapbox, the first attempt with the Beast of Burden did not yield us a win. Although it did show immense promise since we got 7 wins by the end of the game with 2,909 damage. My theory is if we could scale this hard and get a ton of crit from loot items, gumballs, skills, and enchantments, that should be enough to eventually get us the 10 wins we're fighting for. I've decided though that since I'm an idiot and I spent a lot of time trying out other items like the Ritual Dagger, which scales 20 but per weapon sold at silver tier, I won't be showing a lot of the runs I attempted. What I can show you is the time I've spent playing Pygmalion. I spent like 15 to 20 hours just spamming any scaling item. I even gave the dog a try. Even though the dagger and the dog do scale, hang on a second, this isn't for you. This is me raging at my past self. There is obviously nothing better than the Beast of Burden's 20 damage for any item you buy. So here we go. A Beast of Burden, let's get rolling. You know the drill, scale after scale, win after win. By day 8's player fight, we already had a crit enchantment, and we even picked up a pig's gem on day 7, which even in your chest increases your max health by 20 for every weapon you buy. But even with over 1,400 damage, our crit chance just wasn't enough to guarantee a win, and we fell for the first time to a damn dually. I've spent so many hours on this game at this point. It's like 3 a.m. when I was recording this game, and I have work in the morning, but my hope will not be dashed by a stupid little doofus named Dooley. We just need more items.
You move in straight lines.
Okay, vibes are low going into day 10. We can only sustain 2 more losses, but a lucky roll from the weapons merchant gets us an upgrade, which now means we're getting 30 damage for every bought item instead of 20. So we destroy the octopus, not even close baby, and on our level up, we upgrade the Beast of Burden again to diamond. We now get 40 damage for every single item we buy. We get back to buying, and we also get a lucky skill roll, which gets us a gold left eye, boosting our crit chance by 15. So I sold the gym. Let's get this bread. We luck out with an easy fight because I guess this dude forgot to remove his narwhal, even though the sniper doesn't get multiplied damage if it isn't the only weapon on the board. Not to mention the crow's nest doesn't give you lifesteal if you have more than one weapon. What is this dude cooking? I guess I can't really talk though, since I only have one item on my board. At least I don't have two weapons, idiot. With only 2 wins left to go, we get our left eye skill upgraded to diamond. And although we lost to the Archon, we duck our head and we get buying. The next fight starts as soon as it ends, with our damage too high for the enemy dualies corroding toxins to matter. You little shit. We're in the home stretch now. 1 more win to go, which means more item buying and a lucky weapon skill roll gets us quality over quantity, which gives us another 5% crit chance and lifesteal. At this point, with my crit chance at 104%, we're guaranteed 6,292 damage if we cast. We have lifesteal, we have emergency drought, which gives us a little regen if we fall below half health, a little large item damage buff, not that that matters, and we are ready to fight. It's not looking good at the start. It's a buffed rifle, really hammering home how much items matter in this game. The rifle is charging and critting. They have scaling and hasting poison, tapping me very, very quickly. That regen skill quickly comes in handy though, as our health bar approaches 0. But with only 168 health left.
Defeat does not defeat me.
We did it. We beat the Bazaar with only 1 item. We've spent 24 hours thinking it was possible, and god damn it, we were right. Nothing can stop. What's that? Oh, there's a new patch. Oh, and the new patch removes the ability to get the Beast of Burden at the start. Oh, and the skills are completely reworked to be mostly based off of leveling. I guess I'll just spend another 8 hours grinding trying to figure out how in the hell I'm supposed to make the ritual dagger or dog work, even though they didn't work before. I'm so sad. Look, I'm not gonna go through a whole nother set of games I tried. Just know it was a lot. However, I started to learn the flow of the new season over these many test games. Skills are really only acquired from the rare monster drop, the even more rare monster tier loot item event, and an occasional skill purchase event. But the most common is now level up. In fact, you can be guaranteed opportunities in the new patch as follows. At levels 2 and 4, you get a bronze skill. At levels 5 and 7, a silver skill. At level 8, 3 options of skill vendors of gold rarity. At level 14, you can get a diamond skill. And at level 17 and 20, you get the option between a hero skill and 2 gold skill vendors. And another big change this season is, you know, those 3 enchantment options you would previously get at level 15? Well, now they're at level 10, meaning that your runs really had to bank on making it all the way if you wanted to see an enchantment. However, now it happens much earlier. I'm aiming to recreate the first time I beat the game with 1 item, which means I'll need a crit enchantment. Since you can get this a bit earlier now, not to mention possibly getting the trade health for power event, I think getting that enchantment this season is actually a little bit easier. But to start out with no Beast of Burden, we're gonna have to go with the Ritual Dagger. The Ritual Dagger scales a little slower than the Beast of Burden as it stacks when you sell a weapon, not buy any item, but there's no opportunity to get the Beast of Burden at the start unless I hit a random silver item purchase event in the back half of the first day. I'd then also have to have the 12 gold when I found it, and that would only just start its scaling. Thankfully though, the Ritual Dagger does gap the Beast of Burden in cast time, with 6 seconds versus the Beast's 10. So at the start of this run, we got a junk item roll, bringing our damage cheaply to 60 damage and reducing our cooldown just a little bit. By the end of the first day, we actually stacked up to 148 damage and take home an easy win. The level 2 bronze skill gets us a left eye skill that as of this patch now grants 8% crit chance, and with more buying and selling gets us to 208 damage for the second fight, but we lose. You know the drill though, more buying and selling. We overextend ourselves on the scout trooper, but net some gold to buy and sell more. We then end up getting the arms dealer skill, which gets us 20 max health every time we buy a weapon, a great skill to pick up early in the run for the dagger. We managed to pull out a win on the third day, day, and after we pick up a cash register for just a little extra gold each day. Then we obtain level 5. The silver skill we get here gets us bold under pressure, which hastes 2 items 2 seconds when we drop below half health, which is great if you only have 1 item. And with 430 damage by the end of the day, we pull out yet another win against a pufferfish. Oh, the pufferfish is back. Oh, I hate that guy. Day 5, though, is uneventful, netting us an extra 140 damage, but karma bites us with a loss. Against a pufferfish build, no less. Quick side note, this charge pufferfish turtle shell build is cancer, and I hate it, and people should show restraint and never build it. Just please don't build it. Moving on, we pass up this level's silver skill for an upgrade to our dagger, and then luck into a rare upgrade in an item event, meaning our dagger is now diamond tier and scales plus 40 damage for every sold weapon. And more luck gets us a weapons merchant who we buy out like it's a Macy's Black Friday sale in the early 2000s. With 950 damage, we still don't beat a katana lifesteal build and are bleeding out life. Thankfully, the level 8 weapon skill opportunity lets us upgrade our arms dealer skill to start scaling more and more max health. A great item to pick up in any Pygmalion build for the uninitiated is a signet ring, which gives you more income as well as max health per hour based on its rarity. Immediately after picking that up, we luck into a skill opportunity, and Keen Eye gets us another plus 4% crit chance, which ain't much, but it's honest work. With 1350 damage now on our dagger, we net a lucky win ending day 7. We upgrade our cash register and our signet ring and get some more items. We take on the Robo Bouncer for the maximum amount of XP as we're approaching level 10 enchantments swiftly. But immediately after, we get the chance to get a random enchantment, which gets us haste. It's not bad. It's not a bad enchantment. More cast means more damage, so I'll take it. A random encounter lets us upgrade our signet, which now gives us 30 max health an hour and 3 income. But it's fighting time again, only this time we're brought to our last bit of life by a damn dually. Since we're only 1 XP away from the level 10 enchantment options, we decide to roll the dice and take the 20 gold and 5 XP option. By this time though, you should know, Lady Luck is on our side, and we get a crit enchantment on the dagger. Although by day 9, we only have 4 wins and cannot take another death or this run is over. We get another skill which gets us a little more damage, and since now all we need is that super secret diamond tier skill, I opt to fight 2 monsters this round to maximize my XP. Look, it's go big or go home. We need that level 14 diamond skill. Just trust me. Even though our game glitches and we don't get a loot item for our level 12 upgrade, we manage an easy win, thanks to a lucky crit. And the next day is back to buying and selling weapons until a gold skill for our level 13 skill gets us quality over quantity again for that juicy lifesteal. A monster loot item event gets us 6% CDR reduction for the dagger, bringing us down to 5.1 seconds to cast. Because I guess I reduced cooldown somewhere earlier, and the dually that followed didn't stand a chance against our lucky crit since our damage is now at 2214. And here's where shit gets good. On day 11, we get level 14, which means we get a diamond tier skill. And somehow, I went hours of build testing without ever coming across this skill. The secret sauce to the solo item build is Shield Bash is a skill that charges your weapon 1 second if your enemy uses any non-weapon item, which means any dually or Vanessa charge build that previous to this point would have made me rage is now my best friend. Besties! We even get another day of 2 monster opportunities, getting us just over level 14 by the end of the day, but before that, we pick up a diamond tier insect wing, giving us 12% cooldown reduction, meaning our dagger's cooldown is just 4.5 seconds. And the level 14's loot item is 15% crit chance, now almost guaranteeing a crit going into the day 11 fight. And surely we pull off a win against another dually as we charge like hell. The monster opportunity the next day is the Wanderer, which I guess he's a believer because he gives us his skill, which ups our crit chance by 2% anytime any item is used. Not just our items, like any item. And as you could have assumed, the day 12 fight, well, look, I won't lie to you, this build is broken, and it's all thanks to charge, which for some reason it feels like is the only way you can actually pull off a 10-win game this season. So if the game devs of Bazaar are somehow watching this video, I guess they would have to do well enough. I mean, whatever happened in day 13 literally doesn't matter, because in the fight against a really good Vanessa build with a ton of max HP, this happened. Even with her freeze, it just doesn't matter. If you're still watching this video before we get into the final fight, share this video with someone you know that likes Bazaar. Maybe give me a subscription because, again, this whole challenge took over 30 hours. I mean, just the pig portion was 28 hours. And hey, if the video does well enough, maybe the devs will nerf charge. I'm coping. By the final day, we're getting gumballs from a gumball machine we picked up in the day prior. But again, that day just literally doesn't matter. However, I was a little scared from that Vanessa earlier who was freezing the dagger. So when I got another enchantment opportunity at level 19, I took the leap by reducing my crit chance down from 98 to 48 and enchanted the dagger with a new enchantment, can't be slowed, frozen, or destroyed. That means that now, even if they have freeze, so long as, I guess, they cast items or take long enough, our dagger will go off so much that the crit chance really doesn't matter. The final build has our dagger at 2,806 damage, 52% crit chance, a cast time of 4.5 seconds, and lifesteal. It all comes down to this. If you think I can't lose here, by the way, you'd be wrong. I had a previous build. It was at this exact point, actually, and well, we somehow found the one person in all of the Bazaar that had a better scaling build than this. But on day 14, on our last leg, with over a day of total playtime into this challenge, we do the impossible.
You have to want it to lose, and I want it bad.
It may seem like that win was inevitable, but if I hadn't changed enchantments just this round at level 19, we probably would have frozen to death and lost. And we wouldn't have made level 19 if we had just 4 XP less this entire run, meaning each monster opportunity, each choice we made that granted us a little more XP, made the difference in the long run and brought us the distance. So even though there are an absolutely unimaginable amount of variations of builds you could run in the Bazaar, next time you play, maybe consider sticking to just one. And you might want to use one with charge because that shit's broken.